I deleted my social media for a year, and this is what I found. I feel like the concept of deleting your social media nowadays is very romanticized, ironically enough, on social media. I actually did it for a year, and I did want to share kind of my experience with it and why I did it, the pros and the cons, and overall, like the question that I feel everybody kind of wonders if they're thinking about deleting their social media is, was it worth it? My name is Nikki, and I decided to delete my social media back from 2024 until 2025. I want to say that it was around like August 2024 to August 2025. I don't really remember because pregnancy brain, but why did I delete my social media? Let's go ahead and start with that. 2023 was actually a really hard year for me. I was dealing with an alcohol problem, and my dad also passed away mid-year as well. And then I just kind of spiraled with a lot of like childhood trauma and things that were just kind of bubbling up to the surface. I just remember that I would post on my socials, especially like on Instagram, and I would just kind of be a mess, honestly. It was really embarrassing. I would kind of like trauma dump. I would be like drunk on my stories. And overall, just when I woke up the next morning, I would always just feel so uncomfortable with the way that I was portraying myself to be. And so I decided that I wanted to make a big change. When I got pregnant with my daughter, I really wanted to lock in and progress and just kind of become a better version of myself for her. I knew that the way that I had been living my life was not the best. And so I decided to make a lot of changes. And one of those changes was to delete social media. I deleted everything. I deleted Instagram, I deleted TikTok, Facebook, I even deleted Pinterest. The only thing that I didn't delete was my YouTube because I wasn't posting anything on my YouTube anyway, and I wanted to watch videos every now and then. So, yeah, that was basically kind of like the beginning and the reasons why I deleted my social media. I found that there were a lot of pros when it came to having no socials. One of the things that I found very surprising is that I didn't realize that by spending so much time on socials, I really was putting a lot of energy into things that weren't necessarily like serving me, if that makes any sense. The reason why I deleted it was because I wanted to better myself and improve myself, but the things that I was following on social media had nothing to do with that. The things that I was following on social media was like funny videos, drama channels, commentary channels. When I deleted my socials, I didn't have access to that anymore. I was able to focus a lot more on myself and the reason why I deleted my social media in the first place, which was to improve myself as a person. I still had my YouTube, so I did go into YouTube and search a lot of self progression videos and how to better your mindset thinking on XYZ topic. I watched a lot of videos about like how to identify your values. I know that sounds super like basic, but at 27, 28 years old, I never really put a lot of thought into what my values were. And so I decided to take that time of not having social media to really work on myself. So I figured out my values. I looked up videos on how to better communicate, how to be more of like an assertive communicator. I looked up videos on ways that I could overcome certain, traumatic things that had happened to me. I got into therapy. I was able to go on a lot more walks and be a lot more active while I was pregnant. I focused a lot more on work and my relationship and just overall kind of wanting to become like a better person in general. So, pros, I locked in. I really put the time and the effort and the energy into bettering myself and improving as a person. One of the things that I also did deal with a lot during pregnancy was pregnancy brain, and it made me easily forget and easily get distracted with so many things that were happening. I don't know if it's like the rise in levels in my hormones or what happened, but I essentially was so forgetful during that time. And I feel like a pro that I found of deleting my social media was that I was able to kind of focus a little bit more. If I had all of my socials during that time that I was having such bad forgetfulness, like pregnancy brain, I feel like I probably would have forgotten even more. I feel like I probably would have gotten distracted so much more easily, and like it would have just been so much harder on me essentially. Now, were there any cons to deleting my social media? Surprisingly, there are a few cons. I missed out on a lot of important life updates on my friends because I had moved to a different state before I decided to delete my social media. All of my friends were long distance. And so when I deleted my social media, I missed out completely on their life updates. I didn't realize that a lot of them got married, some of them got divorced, some of them had babies. I did make it a priority to text my closer friends and make sure that I was, kind of like in the loop and, talking to them and still maintaining that relationship with them. But for the rest of the people that I wasn't like super close to, I completely missed out on like important life events for them essentially. And they also missed out on life events for me because I didn't have my social media. I didn't post about my pregnancy at all. I didn't post when I got married. And all of those big, like important life updates happened when I was on my social media hiatus. Another con with deleting my social media is I felt surprisingly lonely as well. I felt like I was disconnected from hearing like different types of news when things in the world were happening. I didn't really like know what the rest of the world was thinking essentially unless I like logged in and saw the news. But it's a different experience seeing the news and then also like hopping onto TikTok and seeing people like doing TikToks about what they were feeling and thinking and seeing in those moments. So, cons. I missed out on a lot of important updates for friends that I didn't have their number. And also, I felt a little bit disconnected from the world around me. Now, once I rejoined social media, I did feel really bad because it felt like I had just kind of like dropped off of the face of the earth. And when I came back to social media, I, sent out my requests and I always, nobody ever said anything, but I always have this like fear in the back of my head that they think that I was just like, didn't want to talk to them or that I blocked them or something. And then I just came back and like, that was it. When I came back to social media, I did it because I felt like I was ready. I had taken a good long break. My brain had taken a good long vacation. I felt like I was more grounded. I felt like I was more focused. I felt like I had really focused on improving myself, and I'd gone to therapy and I'd focused on being a new mom and enjoying my pregnancy and all of these wonderful things that came with taking that social media break. But I knew that I ultimately did want to come back to social media. And so I created all my socials again. I sent out my invites again. And I kind of like continued life as normal afterwards. Now, I did notice that I had to put a little bit more effort into posting afterwards because now that I wasn't really used to it, I would often forget to like stop and take photos and post it on social media and things like that. That's definitely one of the things that if you do end up deleting your socials, you'll probably run into is like you'll kind of like fall out of habit of that a little bit, if that makes sense. The results. I'm ultimately really glad that I took that time and deleted my social media because I really was able to ground myself a lot more. I was able to focus on myself and be able to take that time to improve who I was as a person and be able to go to therapy, enjoy my pregnancy, enjoy my birth, enjoy the first few months of life of my daughter, distraction free. I feel like one of the things that is often seen on social media is that after a woman gives birth, she's able to bounce back really quickly. And so that can sometimes put a lot of pressure on a new mom. And I'm really glad that I had the time for myself to not kind of be like surrounded by that or put myself through that essentially. I was able to fix a lot of my characteristics that I wasn't super proud of. I stopped my drinking habit. I am now like a good almost 2 years sober. No, I think I'm over a little bit more than 2 years sober, like 2.5 years. I'm not entirely sure. I did miss like seeing different things on social media. It would have been nice to experience being a new mom with other moms out there, like other TikTokers, YouTubers, friends on social media who were also, new moms as well. It would have been great to be able to experience that with them. I did want to end the video with a question that I think a lot of people ask themselves when considering deleting their social media. Is it worth it? I think the answer to that lies in the reasons as to why you're considering doing it in the first place. And only you can answer that. But I will say this. For me, it was absolutely worth it. I was able to accomplish my goals of taking a good hard look at my life and bettering myself. It gave me focus and clarity, and I'm really glad I did it. However, I do want to stress this as well. I absolutely don't feel like this is necessary for everybody. I know this idea gets pushed onto a lot of people a lot. And if you're at a point where the positives of deleting your social media would outweigh the negatives, I say go for it, even if it's just for a week or even for a day. But don't feel pressured to because other people do it and swear by it. If you don't feel like it's for you, then don't do it. All right, those are all of my thoughts and my experience in deleting social media for a year. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.